Hi, I'm Kristinista Health, and I'm here to talk to you today about the book The Growth Mindset by Carol Dweck. I found this an excellent book for reconfiguring the way you think about learning in your life. So, the way that I grew up, I was an excellent student. It was probably the thing that I felt best at in my life was being a student. I was the person who's always raising my hand, knowing the answer to the questions, and school came mostly easy to me. There was definitely hard aspects to it, but it was something that came very naturally to me. It was hard to go into other aspects of life where I wasn't immediately good at something. Like, for instance, sports. I felt like I didn't know what I was doing when it came to sports. I felt unconfident. Or I remember specifically there was this incident with my family who, that side of my family is much more hands-on, likes to fix things. And they wanted me to get on top of the RV and start fixing things with the RV, with the AC or with the roof or something. And I'm like, look, I'll clean your house, I'll do the dishes, I'll vacuum, I'll do all these other things, but I don't know how to fix the roof. So I'm kind of useless there. And I think that really offended them because they felt like I was too much in my head, too much of an academic, and I couldn't be down to earth helping out where they needed my help. And I guess this book changed my life because it brought in the concept of you don't have to automatically be good at something. You can actually grow to become good at something, or that's part of the process, is just growing through trying and just the value of growing in your life. And so I think one thing that kind of changed in my life is, like, I've always thought that I'm not good at sports, I'm not athletic, I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to exercising. And that was a real disadvantage because everyone needs to exercise, everyone needs to move their body and be healthy. And I had a very limited view of what was possible for me. So I grew up hiking, I grew up walking, and I thought that that was the limit of the physical activity that I could do. And then I started dancing. I kind of gave myself an open mind about it, but I didn't, other than that, there was, I liked that because it had kind of an artistic aspect. There was music involved, and that's actually how I met my husband. So it was very beneficial to try dancing. But I just had such a limited view. I felt like I don't know what I'm doing with my body. I can't do this. And when I read this book, I realized, wait a second, like, I've been exercising for years now. I've been doing yoga. I've been doing HIIT. I've been doing all these different types of exercises. And I'm actually quite fit and I can do this. And also my husband kept trying to point out that when I was biking, I was probably the most fit I've ever been in my life. So it's kind of funny because I actually have an athletic type body, but I just shut it off for myself because I didn't want to go through that learning growth phase where maybe I don't quite know what I'm doing. So I thought it was such a helpful book to kind of rewrite that outlook that I can be athletic, I can exercise, I can be an expert at this. Kind of relooking that just because you aren't good at something immediately when you do it, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't pursue it or that you can't learn it or that you can't become great at it. You just maybe need to keep practicing at it. And so I thought that that was really helpful. Also, maybe I thought when I grew up, I went through a phase where I was rejected a lot by peers. And so I thought, oh, people don't like me. I'm never going to have friends, and just wrote it off. I'm just going to be alone. And and so people would actually want to be friends with me, but I would just shut them down because I would just think, oh, they're not going to like me. I'm weird or whatever, and not being open to those friendships that actually might naturally evolve because I'm just already shutting down and thinking, oh, I'm a nerd. That's just what I do. And then I guess it can also go to your financial health because you might think, oh, well, I'm just always going to be poor. Like, that's the way I'm going to be. That's the way I grew up. And then you shut yourself off from abundance and from having financial abundance because you just decide, oh, that's not for me. That's not the way I grew up or whatever. And then also, as you're raising your kids, also encouraging them that it's okay to try something and fail. And I think a lot growing up, it was like you had to make perfect A's, you had to do well in this and that, and music, and very, very competitive, and not really just realizing the benefit of just trying and learning. And so I guess it talked about encouraging your kids that you don't just praise, oh, you're so smart, oh, like that's amazing that you got an A, but also just praising the activity of growing and of trying. Like, okay, you didn't get an A in math, but I'm so proud of how you tried so hard studying this semester and you went up from a C to a B. That's awesome. And so not just expecting perfection, but applauding hard work and learning and growing. So I've been recommending this book to so many people, The Growth Mindset by Carol Dweck. I highly recommend you read it. It can just totally change your outlook on life and also the outcome in your life. Maybe you've shut yourself off to this whole world that you could be a part of, and you've just shut yourself off because you said, well, I'm not good at it. But maybe you will be if you give it a shot. Thank you. I'm Christinista Health, and I hope you have a great day.